This is I don't know why Sean Hannity looks like that. I think his staff cut this just to mess with him. Pretty certain they just bypassed thumbnails entirely and went, let's catch him on a good mid-frame. This is what happens when your staff hates you. This is when everyone who works in the building gets assigned to work on your show and they don't like you. And so they just, did Mar-a-Lago just get raided? No, it did not. He is doing Trump Orange today. He's still showing his fidelity. They just went down there and picked the stuff up. There was no raid. They just went, hey guys, we're gonna need that. And they were like, oh, okay. Bonnie, I will not turn orange. I will get pink cheeks and then I will brown. That's how I actually do tan. I am capable of tanning. It's a brown eyes thing, I guess. I don't burn, really. So that's good. That was what it was, Stuart. Yeah, it's a leaf blower. It's not you. He's right over the other side of the wall. I apologize. So it's okay. All right. So there's a bunch of stuff. There's a war between the two most miserable people on the internet right now. These two guys. It's rough to decide. We're gonna have to make that decision. It's gonna be a 5 eggs kind of a decision. And then it's a night of strategery over there with Sebastian Gorka, MTG, and Matt Gaetz, who is aging swiftly before our eyes. Fuck if he doesn't look like Nixon now. I am not a child trafficker, but we are going to keep the dog. And then Lou Dobbs is coming to you live from the home. Which will be a lot of fun, and then we get a double shot of Salcedo and Don Jr. Who I don't know is this a puffed shirt? Because he looks like it looks like an ass. It's like there's no way. I don't know. All right, we'll deal with that later. Right now, Sean Hannity. This is an international disgrace. I don't think you understand. It's a disgrace, whatever he's talking about. We'll find out. Oh, let's see. Very excited. This is the opening monologue of Sean Hannity telling you what the business. This is an internet, folks. It's a disgrace.
Now, tonight, as you may or may not have noticed, the Winter Olympics are now underway. Yep, that's right. The hostile regime of the communist Chinese in Beijing. Make no mistake, this is an international disgrace.
Yes, I noticed you titled your video that, or someone else did on your behalf. I'm very excited to see how we weren't supposed to go. We're supposed to deny the athletes, or the fact that we did. All right, we'll find out.
Because of its vile communist dictatorship, China...
Tainted. Really? That close to a big dark hole? Tainted?
Is
Level
a
5.
uniquely, well, awful, terrible place on Earth. The vast majority of their
His grasp of the language is great. It's a uniquely awful, terrible place. It's not good.
4 billion people, they live in abject poverty and squalor, and...
No, they don't. All right. Half of them live in squalor. The other half absolutely don't. That's part of the problem, dummy.
They're the lucky ones. China's ethnic minority Muslims, the Uyghurs, they're forced to live in camps where they're used to slave labor, torture.
They're used to it. They're used to slave labor. Are they? You don't actually talk for a living, do you? Run that by me again. Word salad.
And by the way, they're the lucky ones. China's ethnic minority Muslims, the Uyghurs, they're forced to live in camps where they're used to slave labor, torture, murder.
You mean they're used for slave labor and they're forced to live in concentration camps or whatever, not just camps. It's not. Anyways, it'll be America's fault in a minute.
Happens, and one of China's star tennis players just disappeared after accusing a communist official of rape. Her claims were wiped right off of China's internet. There is no freedom in China. There's no freedom of religion, no freedom of speech, no freedom of thought, no freedom at all.
Well, technically speaking, there is freedom of thought. There's always freedom of thought. It's the saying of the thoughts that gets you in trouble. Malignant Republic of China. All right. Well, he'll get to the point in a second.
You can be thrown in jail for using the wrong words, believing the wrong things, or sharing.
No. Using the wrong words, yes. Believing the wrong things, no. Because, again, they don't have a mind ray yet.
Wrong links online. Censorship, that rules the day. And if I were in China, I'd be locked up probably right about now for this monologue. Now, let's not forget, China affected the world with the COVID-19 virus. Then they covered it up, and millions of people worldwide died as a result. We're going to have a lot.
Yes, where they apparently, according to Sean Hannity and everyone at Fox News, they died of a fake disease that China unleashed on the world on purpose, accidentally, that Trump handled greatly with vaccines you shouldn't take because they're dangerous. I'm sorry. Does anyone else smell burnt toast?
More on China, the Olympics coming up, but let's be clear.
That back.
This is a shining real-world example of the left's ideology in practice. Authoritarianism, we call it.
Yeah, because this is what the left wants. They want China.
If Bernie Sanders had his way, this is what the U.S. eventually would look like. This is why we are so adamant
that Bernie Sanders wants to round up Uyghurs. It's a matter of degree.
Opposed to censorship, cancel culture, boycotts, all the things we discussed.
Oh, you mean like the truckers or book burning? You're not gonna show a picture of the right-wing Christians burning books, but I mean that's kind of a permanent form of cancel. There's one thing to ban a book from your own library, but to set fire to copies of it, that book's not going to be read anymore, one would think. But I'm sorry, you were saying we're canceling. This is all, let me guess, because of how Joe Rogan is being made to feel over the company he sold himself to do his shows, limits on what they'd allow him to show. We're all guilty of censorship. Okay, right.
Often. One of the reasons we criticize fake news CNN is not just because they frequently lie and they spread conspiracy theories and they advance one hoax after another, but also under Jeff Zucker, recently fired, CNN wanted
he stepped down.
End Fox News. He hired multiple high-level staffers. Their only purpose.
That's weird. All right, look. Whoever has got their account at Fiverr, they're not paying you enough. That's hilarious. What is happening?
Was to watch and to track and to stalk people like me and others on Fox News and people on talk radio and get us taken off the air or...
Wait a minute, stalk you? You mean watch what you actually say and comment on it?
Boycotted and silenced. And because, as Humpty Dumpty once hysterically squealed, our opinions are poison. This all happened while Zucker and his co-worker girlfriend coordinated with then Democratic Governor Cuomo. I told you, there's a lot more to this story. Now we're...
Yeah, it's just the whole thing's imploding. Except it isn't, and nobody really cares except people who work there.
Anyway, and presumably other Democrats, they wanted to take down Trump. They were trying to build up Andrew Cuomo into a presidential candidate.
Were they?
And I'm sure we're going to be learning even more about this unraveling scandal in the weeks ahead. But it is now official. Fake news CNN, they're imploding. Zucker's gone. The knives are out. And according to reports, fake Jake Tapper referred to Chris Cuomo as a terrorist. Wow. Jim Acosta is openly worrying that CNN will become...
Okay, hold on. Oh, this is Insider again. CNN stars, including Jake Tapper, raised concerns about Jeff Zucker's exit. Intense internal meeting. Very exciting. Very exciting. So much information. Let's check it out. Let's see. Not that I really care. This is so boring. But CNN stars, including Jake Tapper. Let's see. Yeah, that should get me the title, I would think. Linked audio. Yeah, Business Insider. CNN star. Yeah. Leaked audio. Whoops. Oh, quit it. No, I don't want that. What the? You rat. Daily Mail has it. Inside the explosive meeting with CNN stars angry over Jeff Zucker's resignation, Jake Tapper calls Chris Cuomo a terrorist. Jim Acosta said network would now become Fox News Light, and Caitlin Collins unleashed fury on the media in Warner Media CEO. CNN's top talents are slamming Jason Kilar over the sudden ousting of network president who resigned Wednesday. Leaked audio was a Tapper alleged it could be perceived that Zucker lost a job by refusing to pay terrorist Cuomo the $18 million remaining in his contract. 18 is okay. Jim Acosta weighed in, alleging the network's core content values will likely evolve in the wake of Zucker's resignation. Killer declined to answer specific reason. CEO also said he was focused on company values over business concerns. Honestly, you got a bunch of people that this guy hired who have been on the air for a while doing what they believe is good work, and I agree for the most part. And they're pissed that he's getting surreptitiously kicked out using this 20-year affair he's had with somebody who's a functional adult. But that also, I think they're concerned that it's an excuse that's being used by people who want CNN to tack right to get more viewers under a Biden administration. The idea that if you tack the opposite way of the administration in your coverage, you'll get more of the audience that's kicked out. And of course, I don't know why Fox wants this, because it would eat into their bottom line. Yeah.
Fox News Light, Caitlin Collins, apparently, according to reports, had a fit of rage. And get this, the Discovery executive, who's soon going to take over fake news CNN, had this to say about the so-called Facts First network. Take a look.
We have this great entertainment menu, which should keep people in the home, from the kids to the grandparents. Why would they go anywhere else? And then we're the leader in news to the left. And we're now, one of the leaders in sports.
Definitely.
Right.
Did you say to the left? Man, you weren't kidding. No, that was an aside. I probably shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry.
They're not even the leader of news to the left. That would be MSDNC.
Oh, you mean the network that beats you in the ratings so soundly that Rachel Maddow can now take 3 months off to go make a movie?
Zasloff, his name, it would later issue a clarification and claim he was referring to the left side of the portfolio, not the left side of the political spectrum.
Right, he was.
Adds a little mystery to it. One of the smartest guys on TV.
And yet,
I don't think that was said by accident. More to come.
No, it wasn't. He was referring to the left side of the portfolio. That it wasn't an accident. That's true. He's smarter than that. If it was hiding the fact that it was left wing, if you would believe he's smarter than that, then he would have said it on purpose.
On that. And by the way, why is MSDNC? Why have they not covered at all CNN's?
Because they don't care. Because the internal workings of another network aren't their business, and they've got other stories to do, largely about Trump shredding documents, the Ukraine crisis. There's a myriad of things. There's a lot of news going. I don't know if you've noticed, Sean, but this is sort of the cable news version of when people go. I don't know how many of you guys like have a YouTuber besides me that you like, but if in a lot of the video oriented YouTube world, and I guess to some degree on the Twitch streaming side of things, there are these weird little feuds that break out, between the whoever they are, the Mr. Beasts and the Ninjas and the PewDiePies and all that shit. And it happens with some regularity, and it becomes a thing. You know what I mean? Like they start doing videos about these other people. And honest to God, I don't, most of the time if this comes up through it, like I can watch I watch a bunch of these folks for study, when we, for videos that I do later and yada, yada, or because I'm interested. And a lot of times this will come up. Have you guys ever experienced that? Where you're like, oh, so-and-so is mad at so-and-so over something they said in their video, and it's blown up into this whole online, like high school level thing. And honest to God, I don't give a shit. When those videos come up, I never watch them because I find them tiresome and childish. This is that. MSNBC isn't covering CNN because they don't care. Why is it even news to you guys? Who gives a fuck? Yeah. Yeah, it's high school gossip.
They have some kind of secret agreement because that...
Yes, to focus on actual news.
Could be pretty weird for two networks who claim to be journalistic institutions, right? And here's another...
Well, yeah, but you can't present your own hypothesis of collusion and then go, that'd be pretty weird, huh? If they did that with no evidence therein. That would be weird, huh? It'd be weird if a guy who says he does the nightly news would pull a theory like that out of his ass with no backup in a lame attempt to have a high school fight with CNN.
Question.
That's right. Did you hear? Fox told me that CNN and MSNBC are dating. CNN and MSNBC sitting in a tree. Newing. Newsing. Newsing. I was trying. That's terrible. All right. Boo-hoo.
Oh, poor Humpty Dumpty. He and his assistant, I don't know, some guy named Oliver, whose grand ambition in life is to be Humpty. They can
By the way, he's calling him that because he has a round head and he's fat, and that's Sean trying to make, I guess, some sort of point. I guess he's sensitive. I mean, Sean is probably very sensitive about his looks. He does look like an aging member of our gang.
Continue to heap their praise on their former boss, writing a glowing tribute to Zucker. Sounds like they're putting all their chips in the Zucker basket, maybe anticipating they won't be there long. Maybe Humpty knows his days are numbered. Maybe he's trying to hop onto the Zucker bandwagon.
Yes, where he's retiring essentially with a golden parachute and might go work someplace else. Yeah, that's what you do. You throw in behind the dude because you want to get a job that he doesn't even have yet.
He lands next. Humpty for once might be actually right. Meanwhile, another guy who loves censorship, Mark Zuckerberg, is also facing severe consequences after a terrible earnings report and Facebook's record drop in the stock market. Wow, Zuckerberg's net worth just plummeted by $31 billion. By the way, his entire company, I think it was $250 billion. Now,
yeah, so what? It didn't happen, by the way, it didn't happen because oh my God, they're colluding to throw Republicans offline. Oh my God, they're censoring people. It was an earnings call. I don't even know the fuck why their valuation is that high to begin with. It's silly. Plus, a shit ton of people are taking their winnings off the table, and Facebook's a part of a ginormous number of like group funds.
Keep in mind, Facebook has been hemorrhaging traffic ever since Zuckerberg decided to meddle in the 2020 presidential election.
Yeah, apparently it didn't hurt their bottom line at all when they meddled in 2016.
Remember, he was also responsible for censoring a very true and damaging report about Joe and Hunter Biden in the days leading up to...
No, it wasn't damaging and it wasn't true and it's garbage and there is no Hunter Biden laptop. Prove me wrong.
The election. Maybe Zuckerberg could be more worried about creating a usable platform, less worried about the political opinions of Americans who are not from Silicon Valley and don't.
Well, no, it's the people on Facebook, anyways. The concern is people who pose as Americans who aren't from, I mean, who might be in the valleys closest to the Caucasus, like the Caucasus Mountains.
Share his radical left-wing views. Remember, it wasn't that long ago that actual liberals promoted transparency. They so-called hated censorship. Still, they existed inside the Democratic Party. Now with cancel culture, dark money rules the day among the radical left.
A shady liberal funding network is pushing Biden's hand for SCOTUS pick. Caitlin Sutherland. Oh, you mean like the Heritage Foundation who picked all of Trump's choices for SCOTUS? Is that even? It can't be them, right? Can't be the list they gave him at the beginning of his presidency and said, install these judges? No? Why do you think he was pissed about Kavanaugh and Gorsuch and to some degree Amy Coney Barrett? He feels let down by them because they weren't his choices. He didn't care. He didn't care to look at them. They were on the list. It was like a Pez dispenser.
One Schumer-aligned group just raised $100 million from unidentified donors. Hey, Sean Hannity here.
Unidentified donors. Okay, great, Sean. I'm so glad you came on board. Donors should be identified. Cool. Take that to the Republicans and make them sign to overturn Citizens United and make all political donations, put a sunshine law on all of it. No? Not going to do that? Why not? Why wouldn't you? Well, it seems like a great thing to do. If you're upset about dark money, correct? Right? Isn't that the point of concern? Hold on. Yeah? Oh, shady liberal funding network is pushing Biden's hand for a SCOTUS. Yeah, he doesn't care, or he'd mind when Republicans did it. Doesn't. Dude, I'm for it. Let's do a sunshine law, man. Every dime you give to a political candidate is out in the open. Democracy rules. You get to see who I'm supporting, and I don't even have to vote for that person. My vote's still hidden. Yeah, that's what he is saying. He's not singing. He's actually saying Magoo. He's in the middle of Magoo. So yeah. All right. We know that Sean is miserable. He opened his show with the Olympic fanfare, mass China's human rights abuses, horrible, tainted, then to malignant Republic of China, just basically like a Chinese swing piece, censored, which means the left is the same because companies have terms of service. And then all of a sudden he's freaking out about CNN, and CNN's imploding because the president of the company had an affair and stepped down, and some people are on his side and some people aren't. Hi, high school. And then the new guy coming in talked about the left side of the portfolio versus the right portfolio, and that's the big win. And then Zucker lost a bunch of money, and then somehow that relates to him, and then we don't know why, and then they're in bit of trouble again. And then apparently this all ties up. I mean, this is his opening monologue. Does this fucking show go anywhere after this? It's like this shotgun approach just so he can get people. And this was, by the way, this is called, this is Hannity. This is an international disgrace. What is? What's the end? The Chinese Olympics, the head of CNN getting laid and stepping down. The fact that Biden wants to pick a black woman for the Supreme Court, that might be closer to what's bugging him. But we'll see. Like, for fuck's sake. How do you even... This is a professional show. Look, I know I'm all over the map sometimes because I'm responding to things that are thrown at me that I don't even know they're coming. Like, I don't pre-watch these videos. So sometimes I'm like, oh, we should go look at this news story. We should go check over here. I wonder if this guy said this random thing that's a total lie and tried to gish gallop some of this information in, and now he's running, right?